What made you realize your friend was lying about everything? It started when Greg couldn't find his house. We'd been friends for 3 years, always hung out at my place or bars. He'd mentioned living in his building, complained about his landlord, normal stuff. But when his car broke down and he needed a ride home, he directed me to 3 different neighborhoods before saying, actually, just drop me at the Walgreens. I'll walk from there. It's raining. I'll take you to your door. Nah, I need to grab something anyway. I watched him in my rear view. He didn't go into Walgreens, just stood under the awning until I turned the corner. Whatever, people have their privacy. Maybe his place was messy. Maybe he had roommates he didn't want me to meet. But then came the job thing. Greg worked in consulting. When pushed for details, he'd say data analysis for small businesses and change the subject. Fair enough, work talk is boring. Except one day, I ran into him downtown, middle of a Wednesday, wearing a pizza delivery shirt. Consulting gig fell through, he explained quickly. Just temporary while I line up new clients. Made sense. Gig economy is rough. We grabbed beers later and he told me about nightmare consulting clients, detailed stories about SQL databases and profit margins. Clearly knew his stuff. The pizza thing really was temporary, except I saw him delivering pizza for the next 8 months. Different excuses each time. Building capital for my own firm? Actually enjoy the exercise. You'd be surprised how many business connections you make. Still, people have rough patches. I didn't judge. We still met for drinks every Thursday, still texted about football, still had our friendship. Then his mom died. He called me crying, needed someone to talk to. I drove over to Walgreens. Our weird meeting spot had become a running joke and picked him up. She'd been sick for years, he said. Cancer. I've been sending money home for treatments. I felt terrible for him. Offered to help with funeral costs. He declined. Said insurance would cover it. I should go to the funeral, I said. For support? It's family only. Small town, you know how it is. I understood. Grief is personal. 2 weeks later, I was scrolling Facebook and saw my coworker Janet's post. Great seeing family in Columbus. Even ran into high school friends. In the background of her group photo, Greg, laughing, holding a beer, in Ohio, the day of his mom's funeral. I zoomed in. Definitely him. Same shirt he'd worn 2 days before when we'd talked about funeral arrangements. My stomach turned, but maybe the funeral was delayed. Maybe he'd gone early. Maybe the next Thursday I confronted him, gently over our usual beers. Long silence, his face cycled through expressions, surprise, calculation, resignation. Your mom lives in Columbus, healthy, retired teacher. So why? Because I needed that week off from delivery. And you wouldn't have understood what he laughed. Bitter. That I'm a 35-year-old pizza delivery guy who lives in his car. That my consulting experience is from YouTube videos. That I've been lying since the day we met because I was embarrassed. You live in your car? 3 years. Gym membership? For showers. Walgreens parking lot for sleep? Pizza job? Pays cash. Everything clicked. The Walgreens meets. Never finding his house. The detailed knowledge with no job. The mother who died but didn't. Why lie about your mom dying? I didn't plan to. You asked why I looked tired. I said family stuff. You assumed someone died. And for a second, I got to be someone whose biggest problem was grief. Not homelessness, not failure, just normal tragedy. I would have helped with money, with a place to stay. No, you would have been my friend who helped, who knew, who pitied. Instead, I got to just be Greg. Consultant Greg. Equal Greg. Thursday beer. Greg, whoever. We're still friends, are we? Now that you know? Now that every Thursday you'll be thinking about the homeless pizza guy pretending to be someone else? He was right. It would be different. Already was different. I never saw him again. Stopped answering texts. Walgreens parking lot stayed empty. Even the pizza place said he'd quit. Sometimes I wonder if any of it was real. If his name was even Gabriel. If the photos of his mom were his mom. If anything he'd told me was true. But then I remember the night my dad had surgery. How Greg, Gabriel, whoever sat in that hospital waiting room for 9 hours, brought me coffee, told stupid jokes, kept me sane.